everyone, and welcome back to Business Opportunities Live. And today we are with Celeste Ramos Young. Celeste is Young-Ramos. I'm sorry, reverse that.
Everybody always reverses
it. So today we are going to talk about a lot of crap, and some of it might actually be good. What do you think?
Oh, it's all going to be good. Come on, Jeff.
Well, there is one thing good, right? It's good crap. We're going to talk about
really crap, but we don't do crap.
We're going to talk about really good crap, right?
There you go. There you go.
So I went and looked at my bank account today, and I had $1,000 surprise by the government. So that means that the advance check for $1,000 showed up. Now, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to kick a gift horse in the mouth. But when I signed up for this program, I signed up for a $10,000 advance. Now, they can't give everybody $10,000 advance, but they can give Ruth's Chris $80 million of loans.
Yeah.
And they can give Shake Shack $10 million of loans. But
yeah.
They can't afford to give a solopreneur with a corporation that does business the $10,000 advance they said because of loans like that.
Yeah.
And not that it's bad, because I'm sure those businesses really can use the money. The question I have is, will they? Will they actually use the money the way that it was intended, right?
Yep.
And whether they do or not, all of our solopreneurs and small businesses with under 3 employees that aren't going to have special treatment, that filled out the forms with the intention of there's a $10,000 advance, are not getting a $10,000 advance.
Yeah, well, I think like the PPP, that one, you have to prove what you used it for. So I think that's going to probably be used more for what's intended. But the EIDL loan, they could do anything they want with it, really, unfortunately.
Right, well, yeah, they can. They can do anything they want with it. And the thing about it is, like, if Shake Shack and Ruth's Chris could qualify for $80 million and $10 million of loans from the federal government, why wouldn't they just be able to qualify for a regular loan? Why do they need an emergency disaster loan that is at a preferred interest rate?
Right.
That's meant for people and businesses that are really struggling right now.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you there.
So I saw this great rant from a guy in New York. He was sitting in his car, and I couldn't count the number of 4-letter words that came out. There were a few. But I'm telling you, the guy went on and on and on about how messed up we've been.
Yeah.
In this whole process. And I got to tell you, look, I'm not going to scream and yell and shout like that, but boy, I tell you, that guy really got a release.
Well, there are, they have run out of funds, but since they said they've run out of funds, I have had numerous people get funded. So because you are in there doesn't mean that you might not get the funds for the PPP and things. So there is a little hope there, hopefully.
Well, and I've also heard that they're on the verge of having an agreement to extend the programs.
Yes.
And add additional funds to the programs. I think, listen, my frustration is probably like a lot of other people's. It sucks when there's a bait and switch scenario that shows up. And we don't even know if this was a bait and switch scenario. All we know is they said one thing and another thing happened. But I don't really know if the rules and regulations were ever properly published.
Right.
Right? And I don't know who did or didn't.
Yeah.
All I keep telling people is, look, if you're gonna get money, you need to apply, and you've got to do it now. And clearly, if you waited too long, you missed out on the opportunity.
Definitely.
And also, if you weren't asked for enough money, banks like Wells Fargo were avoiding you. Like, if it wasn't enough money, Wells Fargo put you on the bottom pile.
Right.
They took all of the the big loans and put them on the top.
Right, right.
So now they've got a class action lawsuit against them for that.
Oh no, they're always getting into trouble for something.
You know, when you have a reputation, you become a target.
Yep. It's very
They've
true.
done that well, right?
That's true.
So yeah,
It's pretty sad. Last year, so many banks had to come out and like run commercials to say how they've improved, even when you didn't know they'd done something. You know, it was like they're
are you
apologizing
ready?
for these practices. Yeah, we better
You
be.
ready?
'Cause I have to get out there
Ready for
early.
something? I'm going to show you something right now, this minute.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
So Brett, who's been a regular watcher, thanks, Brett. Am I doing the next step to get the loan amount? We were advanced $4,000 and approved for $21,000 and signed the closing loan docs yesterday. Hey, Brett, congratulations.
Yeah,
that is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to hear that it's moving forward. And yes, I've already done the application for the PPP. I've made my request. I've filled it all out. I've submitted all kinds of documentation. I have no idea.
I think it's a good chance if you got the advance that you're probably going to get the loan too.
It's possible. I've got my fingers crossed on that, and I have no idea how much is going to come through on the loan or not, only because, we don't know, right? All we know is we've made a request, and I don't have an email from the lender yet saying anything about it. I haven't seen loan docs. What I can tell you is I went through Lendio instead of my bank, Comerica. Lendio was referred to me by my credit union because I've got business bank accounts at both my credit union and my bank.
Right.
And I do that on purpose because I've talked to you guys about Profit First and how to implement that, because I do that. That's one of the things I coach businesses on, is how to implement that. And one of the things it says is have two banks.
Yeah.
Have multiple accounts and manage the money that way. And let me tell you something. Had I only been with Comerica, I never would have submitted all of the documentation they wanted, because I got stuck on a form they had that said, did a calculation and then said, okay, this should balance with another number from someplace else. And it didn't.
Right.
And there was no one I could call.
Hmm.
I can't tell you how frustrating it is. These banks, they make it way harder than it needs to be.
Right. Definitely.
So I will let you know how it goes with Lendio. But Lendio seemed to have a good process. It was all online. It was very simple and straightforward. Thank you, Brett. I am heartened
there you
by
go.
the fact that you've actually completed your documents, and I know you're going to use that money to have your business leap forward, and really appreciate you sharing that.
Well, the state has a disaster loan as well called iBank. And that one you also apply through your lenders, but they do a guarantee program for 7 years on it, and they'll guarantee 95% of the loan, so it looks more popular to the banks. So that's another one people can look at as well. And if you're in LA County, they just started one as well. I'll send you the link for that.
I got the link for that, and I went there, but it looked like they ran out of money just as soon as they started it.
Oh, okay.
I mean...
Yeah, I think they had, they had like, I figured out it was enough for 200,000 people. No, that was a different program, excuse me. Let me get to speaking to restaurants here.
Hey, you know what?
Celeste,
a program for 200,000 people would not be enough for LA.
No, I know that. No, we're scraping for money like junkyard dogs.
Oh my God. So, hey, Celeste, what's going on in the restaurant?
Well, I wanted to talk about, I went to a restaurant this week where I thought they did curbside delivery, the best I've seen it anywhere. And the company is Stonefire Grill. They have multiple locations here in Southern California. And there were a couple programs that I really liked. One is they have a donate and call out your say thanks to your hero program on their website. I thought this was really cool because what it does is their customers can put nice comments about first responders and congratulations and thanks messages. And they also have a spot where they can donate. So any of the monies that they get for people donating, they prepare meals and provide them for first responders. So it was an easy way for them to manage that without having to go to bigger groups and say, hey, do you want to, fundraise this, donate to this and we'll prepare it. This way anyone can participate, a group or an individual. So that was very cool. They also are taking advantage of the rulings lately for letting them do retail of groceries. And they had several packages where they would supply you the items to do 4 to 5 meals of a certain type. For instance, they have burritos, a salad, and pizza. So you could get those 3 options with all the ingredients to make them. So you could do it for 4 to 5, or you could take it for 2 and do it over multiple days. And they had a market bailout bag that I thought was really cool with kind of just the essentials for $30. And I was doing the math, and I don't know if I could get all these things at the grocery store for $30. And they
let's see, a dozen eggs is $3.
Paper. Yeah.
Well, 2 rolls of toilet paper. I would go shopping there for that.
Yeah, big commodity there. I mean, if they put sanitizer on there, they could probably add another $10. So
if they could get it, right?
Sanitizer since it started. I'm sorry, I didn't get out there on day 1 of the lockdown.
That's if they could find it, right?
Yeah, but I really like too how they did their curbside. You could order online. You drove up there. They asked your name. They even had in the parking lot numbers on each stall, and they said, okay, go to stall number 4. They brought the order out, put it in the back seat, away you went. So you didn't even have to get out of your car at all. And I tell you, I was there on a Saturday near dinner time, and there were 25 cars in the parking lot, and they must have had 15 employees on.
Oh, wow. That's
awesome. It
was
hopping.
No, that's right. It's interesting because I went, speaking about restaurant experiences is great, but, the shopping experience for food and the restaurant experience, for a lot of people, it's really tough. I found, I've gone, I've gone early to the markets where, there is some availability of things that you can't get in the afternoon. Yeah. I had an experience a couple of weeks ago where I went on the Walmart site and said, well, I'm going to order, that I can go and pick it up. And I couldn't get an appointment to pick it up for 5 days.
Wow.
But let me tell you something. The great news about that was I started a shopping cart.
Uh-huh.
And then my wife and I both added to the cart. And Thursday morning came around, and we went from like a $50 cart to a $300 cart in that 5 days, right?
Yep.
Thursday morning came around, I got an email from them, and it said, your cart's ready, so just click the button. I went to the app. The app started my GPS. I drove over there. When I got there, they were waiting outside with all my food. I popped the trunk open. They loaded it up. Like, that's the kind of experience people want today.
Yeah.
I didn't have to touch anything till I got home. If restaurants are doing something like that, and it sounds like Stonefire is, what an amazing, amazing gift that is to people.
Well, and I think we have to think now, it's like we're not going to probably open in the next 30 days, but we're going to have to do business differently. We're going to have masks for all employees, gloves, more things. We may even have to reconfigure how people enter and exit our restaurants and things, So we got to start planning some of these things now. The governor's already, mentioned in one of his recent broadcasts that don't be surprised if you might even have disposable menus, and that your server has gloves on and that you have a temperature taken before you come in,
Wow.
These are all practices that, are being used in other parts of the world right now. The thermometer, on the head, and they're using that in China and many countries already. I think that's kind of the way, whatever we can do to protect the employees. And if we get a sick employee at work by COVID and other employees get sick, that's a lot of worker comp claims. This meat packing plants that have 200, 500 people that are sick,
Wow.
That's all work related. That's a scary figure there. And that will devastate a company for years with the workers' comp rates going up. So,
no, it's great. And, a lot of it just has to do with the fact that, if you think it's tough for us to get things like hand sanitizer, it's really hard for businesses to get those same products.
Yeah.
Like, they're just not readily available on the market. One of my clients is about to launch a website this week to make hand sanitizer available. And I've been working with others that are trying to get the surgical masks and regular masks out. And what's happening is there are requests for millions of masks.
Yeah.
And, it's just been incredibly difficult to catch up with it. I saw a great interview over the weekend with a woman who's got a clothing factory, and they've converted it to making masks.
Yeah. Well, it's a good example of a company pivoting,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and I think there are a lot of us that are pivoting. My client that I was telling you about that's making hand sanitizer, she was making other lotions and oils. And then now there's such a need, and the FDA has said, hey, if you have the capability to manufacture this stuff, make it. It's okay. Here's the formula. And as long as you're using the FDA's formulation, you're good.
Well, I know one of my clients I was talking to the other day, he's been an Amazon seller forever, but Amazon will now not ship anything that's non-essential. So he said, I have to change my whole product supply, so I can do business.
They won't ship anything that's a non-essential?
That's what he said they had communicated to him. Because, I've been watching these YouTubers online. I watched one this morning, some young girl accounting for all of what she bought during this whole month. She spent like $10,000 on mostly non-essential things. And I'm thinking, well, it's good that she's buying these things, is creating business, but also it's creating these people being out there working, it's not just hospital people, it's the people mailing it and shipping it and handling it for you that are also at risk.
Hey, listen, everybody's at risk. And if we don't get some economy moving someplace, our country and our people are going to be in much worse shape than we are right now. Hey, I want to switch back to Brett, because I want to let you know that while we've been talking, Brett has been sharing in the comments.
Oh, good.
So Brett said that I should get an email tonight with to create my SBA portal account. And so you need to do this to get any more than the advance. Okay, so I will, Brett. I promise, and I'll report back tomorrow.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
then he said that this was for the 30-year term at 375, which is not forgivable.
Yeah,
so that would be the idle loan and not the PPP. So my first preference is to get the PPP for obvious reasons. But if the idle loan comes through first and then I take the PPP, I'll plan to pay off the idle loan with the PPP. Because that's the way that'll roll. You can't double dip. You're going to owe for both.
Definitely. Well, I have one more minute and I have to jump the boat today.
Well, I just want to tell you, Celeste, it's been really awesome chatting with you. Brett, thanks for jumping in. It's so awesome when people do like that. And keep on having those experiences come. And don't forget, we would love to have business owners join us. Brett, if you'd like to join us to talk about your business and what's going on there, shoot me a message. I'll connect with you and we'll set up a time to actually see your face and not just your comments. It'd be great to have you. Anyone else who would like to join us and share how they're being affected by COVID-19, what they're doing that would shift their business, or even if they want to do a little brainstorming live to
Yeah.
get some ideas on like, what are things I can do to have my business go differently? Anyway, for Celeste and for and for everyone from Business Opportunities Live, I'm Jeff Cohen. It's always such a pleasure to have you guys. Have an amazing day. See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye, everybody. Have a